On a farm in Paul Roux in the Free State, the trial for in the Free State. For more on this, let's bring in Aphumelele Mdlalane. A very good morning to you, Aphumelele. This outcome was expected, wasn't it?
I can say, Desiree, this outcome was as expected as we were following up the trial when we saw witnesses taking the stand. I'm talking about 38 witnesses that have been brought in by the state, but we could hear when during cross-examination that there was a turn of events whereby some witnesses, whatever they were submitting here in court was not corroborating with the initial statements that they've been given to the investigating officer. It was quite interesting, of course, to witness that from day one, where we saw that where events unfolded, of course, and racial tensions in these Eastern Free State towns. But I just want to bring Mr. Mutlohung. Thank you so much. Say you are representing Sekweje Mahlamba.
Indeed. Sekula
Mdlalane.
Accused number one. Yes.
Accused number one. This should be a breakthrough for you, of course.
Indeed. This is a consequence of real hard work, thorough preparation and research into this matter, and we are ultimately we've been vindicated. We've always been of the view, upon receiving instructions from our clients, that the state's case, at the time we were even saying it was weak, but as we proceeded to with trial, we could even, when punching holes during cross-examination, we could see that it was not either, it was not on their knees, it was not on life support, it was virtually dead, and my rate of contradictions, inconsistencies that came out during cross-examination left much to be desired. But of utmost importance is a concession by one of their key state witnesses, when the witness was really now under pressure as a result of rigorous cross-examination and making very startling concessions with regards to conspiracy. And he's not saying it's a possibility of conspiracy. He was actually testifying to say there is conspiracy to leveled against accused number 1 and 2 with regards to this case.
Let's take it back to when we were in Senegal. You've always, of course, maintained that there's no case here, and them having to not be released on bail, and then you're trying, and later on they are released on bail, and the inconclusive results that we saw in June, whereby, of course, the blood stains found in their clothes, they were not matching with one of the deceased. How do you feel about all that?
No, the writing was already on the wall. Particularly at that moment, it was a turning point at that moment where whatever analysis, forensic analysis which was made, excluded accused number 1 and 2, and for state to then take a gamble and want to proceed on the basis of alleged, conversations in a tavern, that left much to be desired, and in a way exposed the state to a potential litigation, for malicious prosecution. And I must say up front that this is the route that we're going to take. We have instructions from our clients to pursue this case along those lines, and we will then obviously be preparing the necessary papers, pleadings to ensure that justice is not only done, but it should be seen to be done, and justice must be served. And for us to achieve that, we should be in a position to protect the interests of those who are maliciously charged and maliciously prosecuted, notwithstanding the non-existence of any evidence whatsoever.
And the psychological impact.
Indeed. You just understand that the magnitude of this case. You would also appreciate that, the attention and the public interest, that came as a result of this case. It had severe impact psychologically to my client. In actual fact, just before the judgment, this what my client intimated to me, that he is glad this is coming to an end, and he actually related to me how he felt the first day he was arrested. When some people stormed into court wanting to actually assault them, and they feared for their lives, and we as a result of that, the consequences of having arrested innocent people and subjecting them to such treatment, fiercely opposing bail on the basis of information that you could see that it was really wanting, and accused. And we have always been saying, albeit it is not the accused has got no onus of proving their innocence, but at the same time, upon them being approached by the police officers, they were upfront, immediately gave their alibi as a defense, and that alibi was followed on, and it was reckless for the state to question that alibi without any justifiable grounds. There were no valid grounds not to actually believe that alibi. And on those bases, we are of the view that there is really a case to answer for malicious prosecution.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mdlalane. I just want to bring, all right, it seems like the NPA is going to the other side with the media. I just want to bring, okay. Desiree, what happened here, of course, it's something that was expected from the legal representatives as they were talking to us, saying that this has been a marathon that has been psychologically draining, given that from day one they've been saying that they've gotten from their client, which is accused number one and accused number two, in terms of whether they are guilty of this murder case. And then they've always maintained that they are not guilty of this murder case. Now today they are freed from the murder as well as robbery and also the stock theft. These are other charges that were, of course, included as this matter was continuing. We must remember that dates back from October last year, where we saw the events in court where also the police motor vehicle was overturned. We saw large numbers of people converging the Senegal Magistrates Court. It has been, of course, the headlines where we saw also farming community saying that justice needs to be served. We saw the EFF making their way to court, Julius Malema, and also ANC in the province coming to say that justice should be served. But we're talking about the two accused today. They are the free men, and they seem to be happy when we saw them as soon as the Judge President Kekni Musi handed down the judgment, that they feel that they are freed. We are hearing also from the legal representative that they will pursue other means, of course, just to make sure that the state answers from this. And like I did mention, that the state has 38 witnesses to take the stand. This trial was meant to take over for 2 weeks, but with the turn of events, like I did mention, that whereby some witnesses were saying that this is not what they said when they were giving out the statement. Somehow there was, of course, no link to what they were saying to their original statement. So we already saw the turn of events earlier this week. We're just expecting for this day to come, and it is a relief, of course, from the legal representatives. We'll try to talk to the NPA just to understand as to what is their reaction now to this, because it's a huge blow, of course, to them, and they've always maintained that they have the strong case against these two accused. Desiree.
Aphumelele, thank you so much for that update. You're watching The Agenda.